looked at all those things, made all those corrections, went out there, good attitude in the walkthrough, did a good job. And, the focus is, hey, make sure we can carry this stuff over, obviously onto the practice field, but more importantly, we've got to do a good job of making sure we carry it over in the game. So, that was the point of emphasis with the players today. And, they look like they're ready to go to work. We have 3 guys that are out of practice. Ely's out. Walker's out. So Flowers will go in there. And then obviously we had some pickups, with Pat. So Eric will go there. Pat's Oma Mays played tackle for us, our guard. Obviously Linda had surgery. It went well. So we're hoping for a good recovery for him. And then the third player that's out is Quint Meeks. That's correct. So those are the 3 guys that are out. So, we should have some guys out there. Koyak's back. So that's good. He's familiar. He looked good. And, we're excited to get on the practice field and put this thing, to work.
Mohamed played 16 games at left guard for you last year, but you feel comfortable that he's got the versatility to play tackle as well?
Yeah, we did that last year. I mean, we had him working, saw him in the preseason and, knew that was a point in the game. And we're just going to have to see where those 3 guys go this week. I think Josh will be able to practice tomorrow. Obviously, we'll see how that goes. That's what we're expecting. But, we'll make a decision later in the week, with the 3.
What's the benefit of bringing in a guy who was just here for the last 2 years as opposed to somebody who's got to come in and completely familiarize himself with the situation?
I think it's tough. I think, if you're bringing someone in and they come from a similar system, you can do that. They're able to pick things up obviously a lot quicker. But if it's something that's completely the opposite in the system, and there's probably 3 types of systems in the NFL. So if you do something like that, then it's a little bit tougher. It depends upon the veteran, what type of player, where he's been, how much he knows, what he can recall. It's hard to get a guy up to speed in that short a period of time. That's always a challenge.
Have you talked to him? Do you have any understanding why the Giant situation didn't work out so well for him?
No, you kind of, obviously I don't know about that situation. My standard is, hey, whatever's happening there, I don't want to beat a dead horse or bring something up. I just want to make sure that when they come in that, hey, excited to have you back, let's go, more of a positive deal.
Play you guys talk, you talked about Leonard coming back and it allows you to play the style that you guys wanted to. Is it unusual that the running back is really the key to that? Is it normally the guys up front that really set that style of play?
It's a good question. I think that, I look at it as kind of overall, when you want to be a physical team, and we're playing a very physical team. And I think, Pittsburgh has been a very physical team from my first year in the league, and we had games against them. And I think when you think of physical teams, you think of the physical style of the running game. I think of the physicality of the guys up front. But I think even a better indication is when you look at the guys on the outside that come in there and block those receivers. Then all of a sudden you're like, it's a complete physical battle. And then on defense, you look at the same way. Are the corners tackling? Are they knocking people back? Are they changing the line of scrimmage? So, for me to say where does it start? Yes, I believe it starts up front. But I think when you term, hey, listen, this is a physical football team, I think you're looking at everyone that's playing on the field. And I think Pittsburgh has done a great job for a long time. Since I've been going against them of being that type of complete team.
Has T.J. Watt become a guy who can sort of wreck your game plan if you don't account for him? Is he at that level of play?
Yeah, I think he's a guy that you obviously you have to account for. Dupree's playing well too. I'm saying both the outside guys, they're getting good push inside. So I mean, you've got to be aware of him. I think he's a good rusher. He's technically very good, sound, and he has the height, weight, and speed to do that stuff. Obviously, he has, I believe, like 8 sacks on the year. So he's doing a nice job. And, Dupree's coming in there, and he's putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback too. So I think in the back end they're playing well, and they're able to get pressure on the quarterback. And it's a pretty good recipe for success, one that, obviously we've had and we've got to get back to.
Is game planning against them any different for Connor than it would have been if Bell were still up and running?
You would think that going in, Gene, but then all of a sudden when you look at the numbers, basically their offense is more efficient now than it's been in the past couple of years. And, so you start trying to look at, okay, where is it changing? Well, I think, you see Antonio Brown, still has his 10 touchdowns and all the catches. Juju has, a high amount of catches. The tight ends are involved. Ben is Ben. He's a hell of a great player for all these years. And then you knew how much the focus was on that position for them. Are they going to get the same production? And really, Connor's playing to a Pro Bowl level. So I don't see the change as far as the production. I actually see better efficiency. So I know the offensive coordinator up there has really done a nice job.
What's your point of emphasis this week for the defensive line?
What is?
Just getting pressure.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it, trying to create that pressure. It's something that, we have the same guys basically in there that we've had before, and, we've just got to get after the quarterback. We haven't done as good of a job as we did, in the past, and it's something that we're working on and trying to get more pressure on him because that's the one thing that really helped us last year, and that's the one thing that causes a lot of turnovers, and that's the one thing that we're trying to emphasize.
You're lacking more inside pressure. You need to get more from the inside.
Well, last year the thing that's hurt us a little bit is we lead the league in quarterback escapes. Quarterbacks being able to break the pocket and escape. So we've got to do a good job. And when that usually happens, the first thing you talk about is your rush discipline. But you have to be able to do that and not peek or look or slow down as you're doing it. So. There's a lot of things right now that people are trying to overcome. And like I said before, we just got to go back to just go play, and be able to attack and beat the guy in front of us rather than think about all the things that could happen. I think that's something that, you have to do. The more complicated you make it for anyone on defense, I think the tougher it is.
Doug, do you get a sense that the players are anxious to get to Sunday? And is this Sunday different than any other Sunday, or specifically the last 5 weeks, so to speak?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think you see that the first experience you have as a coach is obviously you go in, you have a team meeting. I'm talking about Wednesday now. You have a team meeting and everyone's just kind of listening. And you're kind of just prepping the game plan, for the players. So really, it's the first time they actually go out there and we're actually doing stuff is the walkthrough. Which obviously, we have a 40-minute walkthrough in the morning, and that's when you can tell. So that's why I was able to come in here and say, hey, listen, they're focused. When you don't play well in this league, you want to get to that game so you can play, prove, get that bad taste out of your mouth and prove it. And sometimes those weeks are so long, to be able to get there. So. The players seem to have that type of attitude right now of wanting to go out there and play, knowing that they're going to play a heck of a football team in Pittsburgh.
How impressive was it what Pittsburgh was able to do against Carolina?
Yeah, I don't know Carolina as well as I know Pittsburgh, because they're in the NFC. Whereas Pittsburgh, I'll see games and crossover games. I just have a ton of respect for Pittsburgh. I always have. I think everyone that has played against them and I've been going against those guys from, like I said before, from 2002. I'm talking about some battles too. And then the battles we had last year. It's always one of those games where when you're in the locker room, you really can't say anything because you just put everything on the line and it's been physical. And that if you don't show up and you're not ready to play, they're going to knock you on your ass. And I think our players know that, and they've got to get themselves ready to play.
Steelers have two pretty good tight ends in Jesse James and Vance McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
That's a position that's given you trouble the past few games. What's the concern level there?
Well, I mean, there's always a concern, with the tight ends. Obviously, from the scheme of things, I think, it's tough when you look at it. You see, probably one of the best wide receivers in football on one end, another young, really upcoming star in this end, and then a running back that's playing well and a quarterback that's been doing it for all these years. You can go down the line and an offensive line that's played together for a long time, and there's different guys and different things you have to look at, but. they're part of it. They're a big part of it. So we've got to be able to, and I think that's what makes it so difficult when you defend Pittsburgh is that, they have a bunch of good players out there. They have a Pro Bowl running back, potentially 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers, a Pro Bowl quarterback, and some Pro Bowl offensive linemen. And then you look at the tight ends, and Vance I've known for a long time. We wanted to take him when I was in Buffalo. We were trying to take him. Did a lot on him, so I know what type of player he is. And then obviously Jesse's from Penn State, and know the job that he's done. So it's a challenge, and that's why I think everyone has to. That's why it's going to take all 11 guys. Saying to do the right thing, do their job. Saying know their role. To defend this team.
Other than you haven't won, but other than that, has Blake responded the way you wanted him to after the benching? In terms of taking care of the football?
Yeah, I really, like I said, going back to that, it was just that, we turned the ball over twice, and I just wanted to see different things. I wasn't going in there more of a, hey, get him out of there. He's not good enough for us. We just got to play better overall. I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's 1 week it's one thing, it might be turnovers, the other week it might be giving up explosive plays or not having enough explosive players or not be able to possess the ball. Right now it's when you lose, that's what happens. It becomes like a grab bag. Each week it's different, and the whole goal is, hey, listen, let's get this thing together where we're not beating ourselves. We're giving ourselves an opportunity to win games, but we've really taken the game away from us early on, whether it be penalties, turnovers, missed assignments, whatever it may be. So, that's the one thing that we preach, or I preach the first time I get here is, the number one thing that I've always had as a philosophy that you have with your football team is the first thing, before you learn how to win, you teach them how not to lose. And right now, it's a good indication of how to lose with the way we're playing. And that's what I think, that's what I'm most disappointed in, not giving ourselves a chance. That's okay, Phil.
Have you sensed frustration from Todd Walsh in this losing streak when his defense hasn't been playing as well as he'd hoped?
Well, I think I don't want to limit it to one person, what I'm saying? And frustration is such a, it could be a wide range. I think, if you look at it, we're all frustrated. So I would put everyone in that category, not just a specific coach or a specific player or anyone in this organization. I think as an organization, we're all frustrated, okay? And we have to pull, I've got to lead it and they've got to pull it together and we have to go. And, we got to get on the field. We've got to be able to coach them as well as we can. They got to go out there and be able to perform, and we've got to go win a game. And so I look at it as, it's more of a whole than it is one person.
Are your conversations with him different this year, though? I mean, when things were rolling last year, is it different now, or is it the same sort of thing?
No, I've learned a long time ago. I never get too crazy, when things are going really well. I know how hard it is. I think once you've been around and you've seen it from the head coach's part, I think you realize how hard it is to win and how close it is in this league. So I'm not saying that people don't have a great appreciation for it. I'm just speaking for myself that, I understand that, and I know when you get like this, this is where leadership comes in, and you have to lead, and you have to just, be very clear on what you're communicating. So for me, I've always communicated the same way. More of maybe, hey, let me get in there and let's see what's going on. Let's talk about some things and try to help in all 3 phases. But I basically was doing that last year too.
Along these same lines, how tough have the Monday morning conversations been with Tom during this really tough, one of the ultimate competitors that there is?
Yeah. I mean, I consider myself an ultimate competitor also. So I would hope that as an organization we're all like that. But it's always tough. When it's tough, for me, what's tough is, for the people on the outside, the people that, want to kind of voice their frustration, they're angry. I understand that. I take that me personally, I feel like I'm letting them down. That's how I look at it. I always have. It's not about, me going out there and winning the game and, hey, look at me. It's about, and it always was, and I said it last year, it's about doing it for, the fans, the people in the organization. That's how I look at it. I look at the people that support the team first, all the way down, or all the way up, however you want to look at it. And, and I'm at the back of that line. For me, my job is to lead, to coach, to win football games. It's very clear, you know, what my job is. I have no issues with that. But the sense of disappointment, you know, with the people around, that's what hurts me more than anything else. And, you know, it's not that I can't go out. It's not that I hang my head. You know, I'm doing everything I possibly can, 110%, and, you know, either we get it done or not. That's the great part about this profession, and everyone knows it. You either win or you lose. That's why I went into it. It's a great challenge, and it's a challenging time now. But, you know, at the same point, you know, when you're dealing with this type of adversity and you can pull everyone together and fight through it, then it's going to be a pretty decent foundation for, you know, what's going to happen next week, the following weeks, and down the road. You know, and that's the challenge I have, and that's the one I readily accept, and I'm actually excited for it. All right, appreciate it. Yep.